Hockey Town, it's a place where dreams are found. We fought so many battles here, now we're the ones that they will fear. The cup resides within our town, we won't stop no letting down. The cup is ours, we're all to drink. It's our time, let's rock this ring.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Hockey Town Rundown. You're here with us, your beautiful host, once again, Carlo and Zach. Carlo, 7-game heater.
I was just going to say, you're very beautiful and very happy hosts. How you doing?
Oh,
we're here. We are here.
13 years. It's been 13 years. I was still in high school the last time the Detroit Red Wings won 7 games in a row, Carlo.
Yeah, that's something else. That is really, really something else. When they were talking about it on the broadcast, I was just super pumped, obviously, because obviously we're living this right now, but I was like, my goodness, what have we been doing? It's been 13 years.
Dude, yeah. What have the Red Wings been doing? What have we all been doing? What has happened in between that time since then? What was going on in the year of 2012? Who knows and remembers then? But Carlo, let's go ahead and jump into things. And actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and say thank you to everyone stopping by on this brand new episode. Whether if you are returning or if you're brand new, we do want to say thank you to all of our new subscribers. We have been blessed once again by the amount of people coming from the Red Wings community and joining our podcast and the videos that we're putting out and all the great content. We think it's great content, Carlo. We hope it's great content. We want you guys to be involved in the content.
Keep us honest, folks.
We want you guys to be involved in the content that we provide, and we do appreciate the feedback on what you guys have to say, what you guys think about the Red Wings, what you guys want to hear from us, so that way we can continue giving you the great content that we think that we put out. And so, Carlo, what do we have in store today? Well, like we mentioned, the Red Wings are on a 7-game heater. They have beaten the Ottawa Senators, as it shows up on the scoreboard right over there. If you can see my hand. The Red Wings won 3-2 overtime win. They did beat the Chicago Blackhawks 5-3. And then tonight, actually at 3 p.m. was the start time, they beat the Seattle Kraken 6-2. And then on top of that, we're also going to cover some Red Wings news and then obviously the main topics, which is going in depth about the 7-game winning streak, the Detroit Red Wings dominance, and then some kind of trades that might be coming, Carlo, because there's a lot of names out there in the rumor mill, especially Buffalo. We keep on talking about them, but there are some other names out there. We will go in depth about them. So let's go ahead and jump into things, Carlo. And actually, before we do, I do want to say, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're listening to us on Spotify, or actually watching us on Spotify, because you can do that. Our videos do get uploaded on there, or on Apple Podcasts. If you listen to us on there, why don't you go ahead and rate us the 5 stars and hit that follow button. And Carlo, let's go ahead and jump into things now.
Before we do.
Breaking news.
We got to let these folks know that we got some pretty sweet merch up there in the link in the bio. And it's a great way for y'all to support the show. It goes a long way, and we try to make some really cool, trendy, relevant things that we think is great. But again, keep us honest. But there is something in there. I'll let you go take a look at it that I think you're going to really, really like. And again, it's just a really, really good way to support the show. And, our commitment is to continuously put out some really cool, trendy merch that's kind of relevant to how this team's going. So I just wanted to plug that in there. It is available right now for all of you guys, all of you listeners to go in, shop, take a look. And if there's something that you would like to see, drop us a line. We will make it happen. Turnaround's quick. Turnaround is quick.
And the best way to find what Carlo is talking about, you can go over onto any of our profiles on social medias, whether if that's Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, all those places. Just click on our Linktree in our bios. Go to our merch and apparel link. That'll take you to the website where our merch and apparel is. And I think you, the Red Wings fans, will be very happy to see the merch that we have on there at reasonable costs as well. Good call out, Carlo. That's breaking news. We will share that actually after this episode too, to let the fans and the viewers, watchers, listeners know about that. So breaking news once again. And so, Carlo, I think now we can kind of go and jump into things. Right?
Let's start our ad-free show, baby. Let's get it going.
Ad-free. And did you know that subscribing, liking, and following was all free? Did you know that?
So it's ad-free. Subscribing is free. Liking is free. There's just a lot of frees, man. You don't hear that too often these days.
In this economy, free?
Exactly. Welcome to the show, folks. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going. So let's go in depth about the Wings versus the Ottawa Senators game. And Carlo, typically the Red Wings in recent history have not done well against the Ottawa Senators, and for good reasons, right? The Red Wings have been rebuilding all this stuff, but lately it's been quite a back and forth battle with the Ottawa Senators. There's kind of a rivalry going there, at least amongst the fan base on social media atmospheres. But you did have Alex Lyon in net, but you did have to be replaced by Lyon in the second with a lower body injury. I believe that we still don't really have a for sure update on him. Maybe you can let me know about that, because I'm just now getting back in the swing of things. I've been moving in the groove of things, so I'm coming back. What do you got updated?
Been a busy boy. So Lyon did skate today or yesterday. Correct. Sorry, he did skate yesterday. Obviously, he didn't play today, but I feel like his return is probably going to be within the next few games. I would imagine he's going on the road with the team. That would be my guess if he's skating.
Yep.
And then for Petrie, it looks like he's still quite a bit of ways away from even getting back onto the ice and skating. So those are kind of
that game. Yep.
Yeah. So those are kind of the two injury updates, which I'll take Lyon back as soon as possible. Obviously, don't rush him back. Talbs is playing pretty solid, but obviously it'd be good to have Lyon back because he's if I can just plug him real quick, I feel like the team plays so good in front of Lyon, it's ridiculous. So I'll just leave it at that for now.
Carlo, I don't know if maybe you can let me know, but when was the last time you saw the Detroit Red Wings in general look good in front of both of their two main goaltenders, and Lyon and Talbot? Yeah,
fair enough. Honestly, Dominic Hasek and Chris Osgood.
Probably. And what was that? Seems like 30 plus years ago now at this point.
Way too long ago.
We're going down memory lanes at every point in this episode today, Carlo. But in this game, you did have Dylan Larkin starting off, scoring with a power play go 1-0 in the first. Veleno ties it up 2-2 in the third. And then you have Patrick Kane showtime with the OT goal, game-winning goal, 3-2. That's a 5-game win streak. Boys didn't skate well for most of the game, but they did what they needed to lock down the Sens, honestly. I mean, it was the same thing for the Sens, but what do you think about this game, Carlo? Because I thought it was a little slow, but the Red Wings, once again, did exactly what they needed to do to get the win against the team in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah, huge win. Chippy game. I mean, the one thing that stood out to me is continuously is their giveaways. And they're just not giving the puck away. If anything, I was at the Chicago game, and I'm not going to jump ahead, but there were some crazy things I noticed. It's regarding their neutral zone play. That was pretty evident in the Ottawa game as well, but it was a lot chippier of a game. Ottawa was kind of smacking us around a little bit. They threw their body around a lot with some hits, but our power play continues to tick on. Really, really good power play stats. I believe they went 2 for 3 in that game. Patty Kane, obviously that power play goal in overtime right off the draw was just money. That was a really, really, that was a fun game. It got funner as it went on. Third period was it was getting better. And then the overtime overtime's overtime, but Patty Kane doing what he did was just unreal. It's great. Good finish.
Now, for this type of game, and you said as the game progressed, they looked better and better, and I will agree with you. Is that a testament to the way that Todd McLellan is coaching this team, or is that more so on the players, or just an equilibrium of both?
I would say a little bit. I would say probably both, with a little more in favor of Todd McLellan and the way he is addressing the team during the intermissions. Because there has been a couple games where they did not look great. Like their start was not good. In fact, going into the Chicago game that I was at, they had like a great 2 to 5 minutes of the opening of the first period, and then they fell off. Like it was like, whoa, what just happened? So their starts have been kind of hit or miss. Usually when their starts are really good, their second period's not good. What I have noticed is when their starts are not good, their second period's really good. When their starts are good, their second period's kind of not great. But again, back to my point, McLellan has these guys listening very, very well, because he's obviously addressing these guys well in the intermission for them to respond. And the thing is that these guys just keep responding. Like it's unreal. Game after game, period after period, these guys are responding. And it's just really, really good to see. As a result, 7-game heater. Let's go. Like everything's just clicking right now for these guys, whether their ears are working, their hands are working, the shots are working, the coaching's working, everything is just working. And it's Haven't seen that in a long time with this team, man. It's been a long time since we've seen that. So we got to celebrate this.
At least since last season, right? We haven't seen it at all this season, right? I mean, like we just mentioned the last time that the Red Wings, even for a 5-game winning streak, I believe it's been a while since we've seen the Red Wings get on that kind of pace. But let's go ahead and jump over to the Chicago Blackhawks game, Carlo, where you did have Cam Talbot obviously starting in net. You did have Ville Husso called up. And then the Red Wings had to call up Lagesson as well in return for Petrie being injured and out. And so I actually didn't really get to watch this game due to me moving. I'm now back in Michigan. I'm an official Michigan resident. I did pass the test to become a Michigan resident again after living in Ohio for a few years. So it was rough. It was a tough test, let me tell you, folks. But Carlo, yeah, just looking at what I can see, just quick Googling, I mean, everyone on this team, or at least the top players like the Patrick Haynes, the Alex DeBrincats, the Lucas Raymonds, all contributed in this game. And then you even have Marco Kasper getting 2 points, a goal and assist. Andrew Kopp, Simon Edvinsson, Gustafsson's finally getting on board. But the one player I want to call out in specific is our boy Albert Johansson getting his first career NHL goal, Carlo. So go ahead and talk about that goal because you were at this game. So I want you to actually talk about the game in general.
Yeah, like I mean that goal, I was literally on the goal line, and when that goal happened, first of all, what a pass by Raymond, nasty, just pure nastiness. But the way it started was Kasper was scrumming in the corner, the puck popped out, Raymond got it, did his little hook, and a backhand pass right to Johansson, who buried that thing, and the place went nuts. Like I'm sure you guys saw the highlights if you're watching it on TV. The bench was going nuts. Simon Edvinsson was like giving him a noogie. Like everybody was super pumped for him. Yeah. The arena was absolutely buzzing for him, dude. It was so cool. Standing probably lasted 2 or 3 minutes, which is crazy when there's 20,000 people doing it. And it was really, really awesome to see that goal. But backing up and kind of looking at the entire game, like I said earlier, like the first period, like I think they got 4 shots on net in the first period. The shots were super low in the first. It was 5 for Chicago, 4 for Detroit. Pretty sure Detroit's 4 shots came within the first 5 minutes of the game. And then it was literally just like neutral zone hockey for like the next 15 minutes.
Wow.
It was crazy, dude. Credit to Detroit though, because their neutral zone play was unreal. Chicago did not look good. Like Chicago looked very lethargic, slow. Like they just looked. Yeah, like it allowed Detroit to look unbelievable in the neutral zone. And they were just picking apart their plays, but they just couldn't get that rush chance. Hence why their shots stayed at 4. But then they get into the second period, and it was just again back to Todd McLellan's message in between periods, like to be on a fly on the wall now, to hear what this guy's saying to these guys. They got 18 shots in the second period.
Yeah,
Chicago had 2.
Wow,
it was total domination. I was honestly surprised that Raymond was the only goal scorer of the second period, to be quite honest with you, because there was some pretty big saves from Mrazek, obviously, if you're facing 18 shots, but I was really surprised that there was only 1 goal scored. And then obviously the third came around. Andrew Kopp, who I did have on my prop bet, not a big deal. I was close on that. Kopp kind of bagged in a really nice play by Gustafsson. And you know what I'll say is Gustafsson making that play is the difference between Derek Lalonde and Todd McLellan.
What a night and day difference that player in general has been, Carlo. And
dude,
that's
go watch that goal. Watch that goal, and it literally embodies play effing hockey. Because that's what he was doing. He didn't make the pass that was forced. He saw space. He took the space. He ended up behind the net, popped it out, and Kopp bangs it in. Play effing hockey. That's what these guys are doing right now. And that play really kind of hit me where I'm like, wow. I'm like, good for Gus, man. Like that's hockey. And it was really, really cool. And then to wrap things up, obviously, Albert Johansson, and the place just went nuts. It was just claps for Aljo. First goal, like it was awesome, dude. It was so cool. Great time. Teravainen kind of scored a couple bangers towards the end there. I feel like Detroit kind of similar to Seattle. Not as bad, but Detroit kind of we're going to play back a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had that lead, and Teravainen is no joke, and he obviously popped in a couple, and then Kasper's empty netter. I guess we can wrap up with that because I feel like that empty net, this whole empty net thing is kind of unlocking some clutch genes for some of these folks. But before we move on, I do want to say, many people probably noticed that Larkin was held off the score sheet completely against Chicago. He played a good game. He was by far our best two-way player. He was up and down making plays to get these players into the position to score. Like Larkin played a really, really good game. So don't let that kid you for a second. Larkin was just playing, I guess, a more defensive game, but he was really kind of getting in the dirty areas as well to get these players their chances who did capitalize on it to get us our 5 goals. So we'll take that all day from our captain.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the Seattle Kraken game, Carlo, which was today. So we're fresh on this. You did have Cam Talbot in net once again. Obviously, Husso not getting any starts. Carlo alluded to Alex Lyon potentially being back. So who knows if we do see Husso play at all for the Detroit Red Wings, which you should for trade value purposes. I'm just going to say that right now, but really quick. But going into it, yeah, Carlo, this was just bing, bang, bongo type of stuff. Kasper starts the game off 1-0. It was actually credited to Larkin at first, then they gave it to Marco Kasper. It was deflected off of him from staying in front of the net, so good looks on him. Then you have Confer making it 2-0. Alex DeBrincat on the power play 3-0. Patrick Kane 4-0. That's all in the first, Carlo. And I believe now, after today's game, the Red Wings are officially 5-0 when scoring 3 or more goals in a period in a game. So yeah, this was an instant win. You had Gustafsson getting a goal as well on the power play in the second period. That's 5-0. And then Larkin getting a goal back that was taken from him by Marco Kasper. I'm sure he's not too upset about that, but that's 6-0 on the power play. And then the Kraken do come back to get the final 2 goals in the game to make it 6-2. Red Wings win 6-2. 7-game win streak, Carlo. Detroit's dominance, buddy. The Todd father effect. It is truly unreal the way these boys are responding. I mean, this game, it was just goal, 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 goal. I couldn't do anything. Like, I couldn't keep my eyes off the TV. Every time I looked around or just blinked, there was a goal happening by the Detroit Red Wings. What did this go in depth about this game? What did this game mean to you, Carlo? What did you notice about this game?
This game, I was really in the past, Detroit, these afternoon games, they never really started well. I can't remember the last time they started like well. I'm not even going to say great. Let's just say well. Their start. So I was really looking to see how are these guys going to come out at 3:00 or 3:07 by the time the puck dropped. And dude, I was like 5 minutes late putting the game on. Like I put the game on at 3:15 because I knew the puck was going to drop 3:07, 3:08.
Right.
I put it on at 3:15. It's 2-0. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what is happening here? And then I finally hunkered down and started watching it. And by the time I was set and settled, DeBrincat just absolutely with a piss missile, Bardowski. Actually, it was Barowski.
He forced Seattle to make a goalie change after that piss missile of a shot that he gave to that goaltender.
It was so sick. It was so sick. They started this game obviously very, very well. And I've got to give them credit here because their second period was not bad. Like this was finally, they actually had more than one period of play that was consistent, that was good. Their third, obviously, I mean, they were up pretty substantially. So their third, obviously, they played back a lot more, which I guess you would expect. I wish they would have scored 10, but I'm just being greedy. But they played back to kind of protect their lead, which is fair. I mean, they scored 6 in a row, so you kind of can do that. But once again, dude, power plays clicking. They had 5 power play opportunities. They had 3 power play goals. DeBrincat, Gus, and Larkin with PPGs. Giveaways were down. Their face-off was unreal. Their face-offs right now are winning them games. Patrick Kane's goal against Ottawa, that came off the draw. There was one in Chicago. I can't remember who scored it. It was off the draw. And then tonight there was a couple plays off the draw that resonated into some big time plays and goals. So their face-off right now is dialed. Their giveaways are down. These are all good things to win games, but these are all good things that good teams possess. These are all traits that if you have them, you're a difficult team to beat. And here we go, 7-game heater.
I feel like at this point, there's no reason to talk anything more about this game. We might as well should just go into the main topics, which is just talking about the 7-game win streak. Yeah, the last time the Red Wings went on a 7-game win streak, Carlo, was January 12th to the 23rd in 2012. You had players like Henrik Zetterberg and Pavel Datsyuk on that team, and no one on that team is anywhere near this team anymore. Maybe except Danny DeKeyser. Was he on the team in 2012? I can't remember. I believe that's when he started with them, and he left Western Michigan University.
Yeah, you might be right.
Someone let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, please. But Carlo, the Todd father effect in general. I mean, just how do you think Derek Lalonde feels sitting at home right now? Do you think he's watching these games? I mean, like just to start contrast between these two people. I mean, you look at even today's game, the 2 points are definitely needed all around. But how do you think Snoozy feels right now with the way that this team is reacting to Todd McLellan and Trent Yawney?
I think Snoozy's probably doing a lot of self-reflection on what it means to coach an NHL hockey team. It's kind of funny, though, because maybe funny is not the word, but, I remember a time, again, not that long ago, where I would say in the chat all the time, why do we always make this rookie, so-and-so's got a rookie goalie playing, it's his first game, we're going to make him look like a Vezina finalist, and he's probably going to get a shutout. Oh, there's 2 rookies coming up, they're going to score their first goals against Detroit. Like, these are all things that just happen so often to the Red Wings. And I guess the point I'm trying to make to tie this in is, Derek Lalonde has to figure out, like, why. I put that on him at this point. Like, whatever he was doing to these guys was obviously extremely incorrect.
Well, go ahead and talk about what you pulled up for me earlier about.
So, yeah. Those numbers. So, since the Todd father has taken over, and these numbers are as of or since December 29th to today. The top 3 scoring players in the league are Detroit Red Wings. Number 1, Patrick Kane. Number 2, Lucas Raymond. Number 3, Alex DeBrincat. Number 6, Dylan Larkin. So 4 out of the top 6 scoring players in the league since December 29th are Detroit Red Wings. Todd McLellan is either the greatest coach in the universe or Derek Lalonde is the worst coach in the universe. Yeah. I'm going to go with somewhere in between there. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to say Derek Lalonde's the worst coach in the world. He obviously wasn't doing a lot of things properly. But then you have a new coach come in. Naturally, with any league, you have a new coach. If a trade comes in, you have a new player. There's going to be a little bit of a spark there. So you got to account for that. But McLellan's message to these guys, the practicing he's doing, the things he's implementing, they're listening to him. It's clear.
Yeah, I think the practices are the biggest things to this team because we really didn't get to see too much inside depth about what the team was doing at practice, especially more so in this season under Snoozy. I don't know why I just blanked his name right there. Jesus. Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. Get out of my brain. But we weren't really getting a sense of what they were doing at practice. Now it seems like, you got people like Anzar Khan, Carly Johnson, whoever else is on there on social media giving us the inside scoop of what they're doing at practices. They look like really fun practices.
Yeah.
Right. They're just out there skating, doing puck work, skating work, whatever it is. Right. Just doing the fundamentals and having fun with the fundamentals. Right.
Boom.
Where it's still work, but you're at least enjoying the work that you're doing at practice. And when it was Snoozy, you could hear it. You could see it with the boys. And now you hear it game after game. I'm so excited to come into work tomorrow, boys. Like, that's how all these players sound after every single game in this 7-game win streak. And talking about those players that Carlo brought up, the highest point getters since December 29th.
Yeah.
You have Patrick Kane, like he said, who has 11 points in 7 games. Lucas Raymond, 10 points in 7 games. And then Alex DeBrincat, 10 points in 7 games. And then let's talk about
these points all went up since today's game.
Nope, that's included.
Is
those
it?
Points, yep, those points are included. Yep, ESPN has those updated. Those game logs are perfect for me right here. And then even talking about Dylan Larkin, even since December 29th, he has 8 points in the last 7 games, and he has 5 goals in that span too. So he's really picking it up. Patrick Kane has been helping him out a lot. Patrick Kane had 3 assists in 1 game at 1.2. That was against the Chicago Blackhawks. I don't think we really touched on that.
I want to talk about power play, penalty kill, and just some of the numbers around there.
The power play under Todd McLellan versus a snoozy Lalone for Alex Tanguay. I love this power play a lot better, for sure.
Derek Lalone's power play, 98 opportunities, 22 goals. McLellan's power play, 23 opportunities, 11 goals. Like, that's insane, dude. That's double. In terms of percentages, they've doubled their power, more than doubled.
Yeah, that's just under 50% right there, right? 48, 49%, something
Roughly,
like that.
Yeah, give or take. Their penalty kill, 93 PKs. They let in 64 goals. Sorry, they didn't let in 64 goals, but I think they gave up a goal 64 out of the 93 times. So, yeah, I guess that's what that
you said it right. Yeah.
I did say it right. Talked myself out of it. But either way, their penalty kill hasn't improved that much, but it has improved. Not like their power play. Their goals for is a lot better. That's up a full point, if not a little bit more. Their goals against is down 0.5 percentage, which is pretty big, or 0.5 goal, I should say. And then I think the biggest thing for me is just the win percentage, man. Their win percentage is double.
5 per 68 are at an all-time high. You forgot that one.
Dude. And then their shot differential.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. Everything all around has changed and done the 180 flip. The Todd Father effect is in full effect, full swing, people.
Does anybody know, and I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I'm just curious, and I'm not making any assumptions here, or am I? Has there ever been a coach come into a team mid-season and won the Jack Adams?
I don't believe any coach in the NHL has ever won that coming in mid-season through, right? But if anyone could do it, it's him. Not saying that he's going to win every single game the rest of the season, right? That's not something you should be expecting at this point, right? But the way that this team looks, the way the boys are buzzing, and what we'll be talking about next too, very may well could get Todd McLellan the Jack Adams Award as the best NHL coach in the NHL, especially if they make the playoffs too. But go in depth more. Sorry for cutting you off.
It's just what he's doing. Like, it's what he's doing. I mean, again, the thing I like about Todd is he would, I can just hear it because I've been watching all of his post games, any of his media availabilities. I really enjoy watching, and he would be the first person to say, "It's not me." Like, go give the guys deserve all the credit. I love that about him. The guys deserve the credit for listening to you, Todd. That's what the guys deserve some credit for. And you know what? Credit to the team, because you need to be a good listener if you're going to be a good producer. That's just kind of a known law. You know, if you want to do well at something, you need to be a very good listener first. And credit to this team for doing that. Credit to them for executing. But big time credit to Yawney and to McLellan for coming in there, capturing the room, A, and B, sending out a very good message that's I guess malleable for these guys. They're able to understand, they're able to apply it, they're able to execute on it, and here we go. We're on a 7-game heater.
Outside of the 4 players that you mentioned earlier, the Patrick Kane, the Lucas Raymond, Alex DeBrincat, and Dylan Larkin, if you have a specific player or players, it could be multiple, and I do believe that it is multiple. I mean, you can pick out whoever. Who has benefited the most from this coaching change on this Detroit Red Wings team to you, Carlo?
There's 2. They're both defensemen, Gustafsson and Johansson.
Boom.
Those
you could even throw in Veleno and Jonathan Berggren, even Casper. I feel like that they're
Casper. Yeah, true. Veleno as well. You're right.
But I agree
consistently,
with you.
Though, those 2 defensemen, Johansson looks great. Like, he looks like he should not be removed from that top 4 ever again. He should not be seeing the press box ever again. He should absolutely stay in that top 4. Gustafsson is playing hockey. He is playing. He's not worried about what he's going to hear about on the bench. He's not worried what he's going to hear after the game. He's playing effing hockey. And you can say the same for Johansson too. I mean, you can say the same for this entire team, but those two are the big standouts for me because, under the Lalone crew, they really were not anything great. They were nothing special. Now they are playing very, very good. They're producing points. And you have a rookie, Johansson, who's having a ton of fun out there, learning, getting better, as opposed to maybe getting worse or staying stagnant and then being thrown up into the box. Well, that's getting worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, and talking about Gustafsson, before Todd McLellan came in, he had 2 points with the Red Wings. He has put up, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 points in the last 7 games.
Yep.
That's the turnaround in Albert Johansson getting his first goal. Yeah, Carlo, I would agree with you. Once Jeff Petrie comes back, you have to solidify Albert Johansson, I think, in that top 4. I think that the odd man out now is certainly Justin Hall. And I think you made mention of that, or someone did, whether if that was in our group chat or on this podcast. Now,
or does Petrie just really take his time coming back?
That too, because why try to fix something that's not broken?
Boom. There you go, man. That's what I'm saying.
Possibilities of him getting waived.
Depends how long he's gone for, but it's possible to do for a conditioning stint or something.
Yeah.
Actually, if he's gone for so long, I don't think he needs to. Isn't there some weird rule where if you're gone for X amount of days, or if you're on IR for X amount of days, you don't need to clear waivers and then you can just go do a conditioning stint?
There might be, if you know,
either way,
let us know down in the comments.
The waiver is weird, man. But either way, if he gets waived, I don't think anyone's taking him. And if someone does take him, sweet. I mean, we're humming along right now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the league would particularly want to take him. And I think even Steve Yzerman probably knows that he doesn't want any other GM or team to take him either, and probably goes around saying like, hey, just don't take him. Like, he's coming back from injury. We need him to get a conditioning stint in GR, right? So yeah, no, Carlo, I would agree with you overall. Going back to the question, who has benefited from this team the most? Yeah, I would say the defense as a whole in general, obviously the offense, everything. Everyone has benefited from the Todd Father effect and Trent Yawney effect. We're going to have to come up with something for Trent. Eventually, we'll get there. Carlo, there's been a lot of rumors in the trade world.
Yes.
Friedman says Wings are in on Cozens, but what about left-handed D Bowen Byram? Vancouver has an unhappy JT Miller, and Pettersson's always on the rumor mill. These are 4 names that are circling within Red Wings fandom about potential players that you can go after. Maybe not so much JT Miller, but his name is certainly out there. He could probably be a good fit for you on the wing. You could maybe play him at center sometimes. Who knows? But what do you think about these rumors, Carlo?
Oh, man, that's such a tough one for me, dude, because right now, again, back to what you just said moments ago, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know if I really want to do anything right now. Like, these guys are clicking. And the last thing you want to do is send somebody out on the roster, because that could send the wrong message, or maybe that deflates the room. I look at it more that way. They're on a 7-game winning streak, dude. I'm not making any changes right now.
Yeah.
Personally. Now, that aside, if I look at that list of players, I don't think Pettersson's realistic. I don't think JT Miller is realistic. I really wouldn't even want JT Miller because I think he's a bit of a head case. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks, but it just seems that to me that he's a bit of a head case here. I said it. Pettersson would be amazing. To see him and Raymond play together would be absolutely incredible. But the amount that we would have to give up is just, I can't even, that's like you're getting into like that Jack Eichel trade, and it's just, that's way too much of a blow up. And like a 7-game winning streak team doesn't deserve a blow up. Like, if they can add a piece without giving up anyone super substantial, that's going to take care of the loss of whoever it is we lose and add more. Obviously, Steve Yzerman is going to look to do that, but I just don't know. I feel like trades are on the back burner right now, man. Pettersson would be like my ideal, but like I don't think it's realistic. Cousins, I don't know. Like I'm not sold on him. Like he's a good player. I think his 5-on-5 numbers are pretty decent as well. I was looking at some stats, but he's kind of dormant in Buffalo. And I get it. It's Buffalo and they're not having a great time over there right now. I understand that. And change of scenery. I get it. But again, what are we giving up? Like, what are we giving up to acquire that? Is it enough is he enough to give up X, Y, and Z? Keep in mind, 7-game winning streak. The most exciting thing I would say, or the most exciting thought would be getting Byram to really beef up our D. That would probably be realistically my number one. Unrealistically, Pettersson's my number one.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. Yeah, out of this list, Bowen Byram would probably be at the top of my list. And being realistic about it, Pettersson is the pipe dream, right? You're gonna give the moon and stars whatever you got, change out of your shoe and your couch, right? To go and get an Elias Peterson. But yeah, of course. Bowen Byram being right there, dude. Yeah, to bolster up this defense, you can have a Simon Edvinsson and a Bowen Byram as your top 4 left-handed D. He's definitely smaller than Edvinsson. I don't know how you would want the pairings to look. If you looked at it from, do you want him to be with Sider, or would you want him to be on the second pairing with someone like ASP eventually when that time gets there, right? But I'm kind of going too and far ahead of myself that we haven't even made a trade yet for this player, but this is the player that I would expect the Red Wings to be in on. Like I mentioned earlier, Cousins to me doesn't really make any sense. And it's exactly like you said, Carlo. Or what I said, reiterating what you said. If it's not broke, don't fix it. There's no reason to make a sweeping change with this team currently. If it's working, it's working. Continue doing it. And I think we need to have a closer conversation about trades once we get into when it's like the 4 Nations time, because the trade deadline will be much closer to then. But yeah, Elias Peterson, you're giving up the moon and stars. A JT Miller. Yeah, dude, he's like a gossip girl over there or something, hey? Like, what's going on with that boy?
I don't know. Like, it's also Canadian media, so take that with a grain of salt as well. But
fair enough. I mean,
I don't know. Like, he's good, but I don't know. He stepped away. I don't know why. I didn't really look into why. I get the ick with JT Miller. And maybe I get the ick because we're on a 7-game heater, and I'm just not convinced that we really need anything right now. I feel like we're kind of on top of the world right now, and I know it's not sustainable. I know we're going to lose. We're going to lose again. Hopefully, it's an honest loss, and it's not a stupid loss. That I'm okay with those types of losses. But yeah, dude, I don't know. This team, what they've done over the course of the last 7 games, it really just puts everything else on the back burner, and I'm just so locked into this team, this group of players, like super locked in. Yeah. And they're doing it, man. They're doing it for me right now. So you got to give them, their spades here.
I might get a lot of flack for this. Maybe hate's another word you can use. Maybe just this is all smoke, but this is my personal opinion. I'm just going to say it. Carlo, a lot of people will always say the Detroit Red Wings do not have a superstar in their team. Yes, we do. It's Lucas Raymond. The dude budding right now.
Budding. Keyword budding.
Yeah. 82 game pace. 90-point pace right now, 33 goals, 57 assists. Carlo, imagine if we started this season with Todd McLellan. He would be on a 100-point pace right now.
You're probably right, dude. But that's key. Again, that's why I say budding. You know how I roll, dude. Seeing is believing 100% of the time. I'm not doubting it. Lucas Raymond looks unreal, and he continues to get better. I remember talking about this when we wrapped up last season about his clutch gene being activated and us asking for that clutch gene to get reinvigorated this season. It did get reinvigorated this season. Now it's being like reinvigorated under the Todd father. So, hey, a budding superstar, absolutely. When we have Todd for a full year next season, once Lucas Raymond wraps up this season with Lord knows what he's going to put up from here on out, then I think I'd be more comfortable to say we absolutely do have a superstar on our team in Lucas Raymond. And I'd also go as far as including Moritz Seider in there as well. That guy plays
100%.
A ridiculous, badass brand of Detroit hockey, man. He encompasses and embodies Detroit in the way he plays.
And I brought up Lucas Raymond. And I'm glad that you brought up Moritz Seider too, because I agree with you. And this team in general, and we're seeing it more and more. Moritz Seider, the physicality out of him has been it's uptick ever since Todd McLellan has come on. Right, he laid a big reverse head on Seattle game today.
No, is it Carrier?
Yes, yeah, that's how you say it. I think, yeah. Did actually post a short video on it on our YouTube page, so go ahead and check that out if you have not seen that already. But yeah, Carlo, that's and talking about these players, I think that's why I don't think that we need to go out and trade for someone even like a Pettersson. While yes, it would be nice to add, but now's not the right time. And even for someone like a Cousins or even JT Miller, and even for a Byram, I can make a case for, even though I want him so badly, because we already have our superstars, and what's happening right now is working. We don't need to change it. We've said that 20 times already this episode. So our trade's coming. Maybe. But right now, like you said, Carlo, this is not my first priority right now. If I'm general manager Steve Yzerman, I'm waiting for phone calls to come to me and inquiring about my players and seeing what they could overspend to me. Yep. What can Steve Yzerman get from this person wanting, hey, I see Jonathan Berggren or Joe Veleno or X, Y, and Z doing X, Y, and Z. I need him badly. Okay. It's going to cost you.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, dude? Maybe that was, I don't want to say that was the plan the entire time. That's unrealistic, but maybe that's exactly what Stevie Y is thinking now. Is let's see who's going to come to me and offer me something for one of these guys who are on a 7-game heater with this team.
Do you think that was kind of similar to last season, considering that he didn't really make any trades at the trade deadline last year? Do you think that was kind of his approach? Because the Red Wings were doing really good up until he made those comments saying, like, I want to see how this team does and make the playoffs without making any adjustments.
Yeah. I mean, he had calculations, obviously, that he was very confident in, and he had a vested interest in, obviously. So he wanted to see the fruits of his labor, I guess. And you have all the rights to want to do that. Honestly, I could see him doing the same thing this year too, dude. If things keep tracking the way they're tracking, barring injuries, yeah, I can see him kind of doing the same thing. Unless we're in a bit of a better position and we're playing way better defensive hockey, which I think we are, then maybe he does go and add someone who's going to take us to the next level. But I really think he's going to stand pat like he did last season, barring injuries. Of course, if injuries pop up, then you got to do what you got to do. But this team is buzzing, dude. They are buzzing. Like I said last week, Todd is tapping into the untapped in all of these players, in every single one of them, except Christian Fischer. He's kind of been riding the pine for a little bit, but everyone else has been tapped into, and it's insane.
Maybe one episode, maybe that'll be next episode. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the goods. Eventually, Carlo, and I said this to someone, I actually can't remember who it was. But eventually, after so many times that you win, fans are going to start going from, oh my God, this is so exciting, to, okay, I'm used to this. Now I got to find someone to nitpick on. Right. And there's definitely a couple players on this team that we could do that with, but the vibes are so high that I'm not really trying to be the negative Nancy today. I just moved. The Red Wings are in a 7-game heater. There's snow on the ground. My dogs are happy.
Yeah, dude, we're a ways away from the nitpicking, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some players I wish that could be a little bit better. Like you said, I mean, Christian Fischer seems like he could be in a little bit of the doghouse. I think Tarasenko also probably wishes that he could be doing a little bit better.
Yeah, dude, he's so snake bitten. That's another thing I noticed in the Chicago game live. He is so snake bitten, man. Holy cow.
I feel so bad for him too, especially all the wonderful comments that he made. Like, yeah, when I bought my PlayStation, I chose the Red Wings and traded myself to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Carlo. Let's go ahead and do the Red Wings news, and then we'll finish off with around the league news. And for the Red Wings news, Kosa and Watson were named the AHL All-Stars. So congratulations to them. That's awesome.
That is
surprised
awesome.
that Sebastian Kosa. Honestly, really not surprised Austin Watson either. I'm pretty sure that he's leading the team in points. I could be wrong, Carlo.
I think he is, dude. He gets a lot of apples, that guy. A ton.
Yeah, you wish that you could pick him and sound the horn more often, don't you? Me too, honestly.
No, you know what? I have been absolutely riding Snively.
You have.
Sound the horn, you have. And it's been working out, man.
You're going to have to get his jersey, bro.
I might have to, eh? No doubt.
And then for other Red Wings news, the World Juniors finally came to an end. It was actually ending the last time we recorded, I believe, Carlo. We were getting ready to go into the bronze medal and then the gold medal / silver medal game. Well, ASPN Sweden did not get a medal, Carlo. They lose to Czechia in a shootout. He did have an assist, and he was voted best defenseman in the tournament. I was very shocked by that. We don't really have to go in depth about it, but do you think that really affects anything for ASP, going into finishing off the Swedish Hockey League and then potentially coming over to the Red Wings once he finishes there?
I don't think it affects him, no. I think it's good for him. I think you got to go through losses like that to get better. It kind of just chips away at your character and it molds you. And he's going to have a swagger about him by the time he makes it to Detroit. And these losses and these big tournaments, that all plays a part into that, I think. And I think he's going to come to Detroit. I don't want to say, I think swagger is the right word. I was going to say like with a chip on his shoulder. I don't think there's anything he needs to have a chip on his shoulder about, though. I think he's just going to have a swagger and an attitude about him. And he's going to make his presence felt very quickly when he makes it over to the NHL, for sure. Like I said, Western media is starting to cover this guy and get familiar with this guy's name. He's taking Western media by storm. I'll say it again. And when he's here and he's playing here, get familiar with those 3 letters, ladies and gentlemen, ASP, because that is going to be very in your face with the skill set that he has. He's a very special player, and I'm really excited for him to get back into Sweden. Obviously, hopefully, a good rest of the season there. We wish him the best, but I'm just so eager for him to make it over to Detroit or Grand Rapids. I'm being selfish, and I want him right in Detroit, but we'll see what happens.
I'm right there with you, buddy. Yeah, either option would be okay with me, whether if that's Grand Rapids or with Detroit. I really don't think it's going to affect him that much if the SHL season does come to a close early for him. But best of luck to him finishing over there in Skellefteå in the Swedish Hockey League. And then, Carlo, you had Jesse Kiskinen with Finland getting a goal against USA for silver. And then Trey Augustine, your back-to-back gold medalist, winning gold for the second time and winning best goalie of the tournament. And then Max Plante also winning gold with Trey Augustine. What does that mean for someone like Trey Augustine? Obviously, the next step is to finish with MSU and the NCAA being the #1 team for hockey in the men's division. Is it winning that and then instantly going straight to Grand Rapids Griffin next season?
That's my thought. One thing you forgot to mention, or we forgot to put in there, I should say, is Augustine is now the most winningest goaltender for USA in World Junior history. Yeah, really. And you know what? I watched the coach announce that to him in the room. There was some footage of that. And he took it with such poise, man. He just seems like such a cool, collected dude. He just the characteristics that Steve's going after with these players. It's very unique. It's very I don't want to say like lethargic, but it's very it's not me, man. It's all good. Like I'm just here. Like there's a very, you can see it in all these players that he's picking. Pick. There's a special characteristic. It's that silent lead by example type of trait that Steve embodied himself when he led this team as captain and as a player. And I'm starting to notice that in all these young prospects, keyword young, like the fact that these guys are doing this at this age is crazy, but he's just cool as a cucumber. Same with all these other guys that are being picked. And I think obviously all this stuff for Trey, swagger. It's just building his character, building his swagger. And I think he's going to be lights out, dude, in Grand Rapids. Like, I think he's going to be lights out.
I think another thing that we actually forgot to mention, Jesse Kiskinen in one of his games, I can't remember if it was against USA, but he was voted actually one of the best players in that game as well. So congratulations to him. Like I said, he got a goal against USA as well on Trey Augustine. So yeah, it was like, okay, yay for Kiskinen. And oh no, he scored against Trey Augustine. Bad, good, bad. What's going on here? So congratulations to everyone. So sorry, ASP, you did not go home with a medal. Augustine, Kiskinen, and Plante, congratulations on the gold and the silver medals. Being Detroit Red Wings prospect.
You know what? Even claps to ASP, the best defenseman of the tournament. It was evident. Like, he was awesome. He took it by storm.
Yep. So congratulations to those players. Once again, Carlo finishing up with around the league news, and then we'll wrap it up. Daniel Sprong was on waivers again via Seattle, and then he went down in the AHL. And then someone in our group chat posted it. I slightly saw it where he put up, I think it was like 3 points or 2 points or something.
Yeah, he did get sacked down there. I mean, he's not able to find a home in the NHL. Then he goes into the AHL. Mind you, he played one game and had a good game. It's okay, go do it again.
Remember when Red Wings fans wanted to sign him to a 6x9 though?
Yeah, 6x9. Who said that?
I did. I'm sure no one really said that, but people did want to give him an actual extension with some term and some cap on it. And looking back at it, obviously everyone's like, phew. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't one of those people. I definitely said it, but I was very hesitant about it because you
were more of a modest 3-year deal.
Yeah,
you said like a 3x3.
Yeah, I mean like a 3x3. Some people were even going up to 5 though, Carlo. There were some pretty interesting takes out there, but honestly, it was a smooth move by Steve Yzerman not to bring him back, obviously. So
yeah, he obviously saw what other teams. I mean, he's been on 2 teams now since Detroit. So I mean, yeah, not good.
And then last but not least, Carlo is in pain, heartache, and sorrow because it is confirmed the Winter Classic will be held between the Panthers versus the Rangers in Miami at Lone Depot Park on January 2nd. And then the Stadium Series between the Tampa Bay Lightning, I should say, and the Boston Bruins in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium on February 1st, Carlo. I am so sorry to tell you that.
Stadium Series, I'm fine with. I got no beef there. But the Winter Classic in Miami, what? Like, those are the 2 most opposite things. Miami, winter. Dude, where we're from, we escape winter, and guess where we go? To Florida. The complete opposite of winter.
So don't you think that's the reason why people like they want to do it there, so that way people can go and be in warm weather? I guess I'm trying to be the devil's advocate here for you, but I'm
just thinking of like snowbirds, man. Locally, we call them snowbirds. It's folks who live here in the summer, and in the winter they go to Florida so they can experience the summer, not the winter. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's dumb. Call it something else. Winter Classics should be held in the Midwest and East.
As soon as Carlo said call it something else, things just started popping in my mind. The Summer Winter Classic for Carlo.
Call it the Heat Classic, the NHL Heat Classic. I don't know.
Like, okay, that's not too bad. Yeah, like, why not?
NHL marketing hit me up, man. Like, this is just the Winter Classic in Florida is dumb. It is so backwards. But whatever. It is what it is. That's just me being picky, I guess. But I just don't think it makes any sense.
We typically don't watch them anyways. I asked you if you even watched it. You said no. So it's really not for us anyways. But yeah, who knows? Hire Carlo. He definitely wants to work for the NHL.
Well, that'd be great.
Take me with you.
That'd be awesome. Hit me up anytime, NHL. I'm right here.
Carlo, if that's all that we have for Around the League news, if you got something else, let me know. But I think we're good to go for final thoughts here on today's episode.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything over the course of the last few episodes, covering this winning streak, covering McLellan's era here. I mean, taking us right into a final thought. It's just, let's keep it going. Let's keep our ears clean. Let's keep listening to what this guy's got to say. Let's keep executing, and let's keep winning hockey games, man, because this is just a ton of fun right now. So let's go, Red Wings. Giddy up. I'm passing it right over to you. Reel yourself in there, buddy.
Giddy up. Let's go. My final thoughts are, let's go Red Wings. Just keep it up. Like I said, I think I said this last episode, even if they lost and then went on another like 3 to 4 game winning streak, that's okay. Like I don't expect them to continue winning every game, but as long as they keep on making improvements and doing the things like playing effing hockey, they're going to keep winning. And before you know it, the Red Wings are going to be jumping the standings because right now, I should have mentioned this earlier in the episode, but the Red Wings are 2 points back currently from a wild card spot. They're waiting to see if the Ottawa Senators beat the Dallas Stars, which it looks like they may. It's 3-1 currently with 8 minutes left. So the Red Wings will kind of fall back a little bit, but behind them. But outside of that,
we're close, man. We're close, and we got
close.
some games in hand. We got some games in hand on a lot of these teams.
Yeah. And you know what? Like I said 2 weeks ago, we were trying to decide who we're going to pick in the top 5. Now we're trying to decide, okay, what wild card spot are we getting? Are we going to get the 3rd spot in the Atlantic? And who are we going to play first round in the playoffs? And hopefully we can finally make it there.
Yeah.
So
keep an eye on Money Puck. Last home game is on Tuesday against the Sharks, and then we're on the road back-to-back Florida. That's going to be a big test for this team, for sure.
No, for real. Yeah, and it's up against some pretty good talented teams too, nonetheless. Not too bad, honestly. So
Florida and Tampa, Thursday, Saturday. So Sunday's episode, a week from today, that'll be a big one for us, because that's where we can talk about these potential honest losses or stupid losses. Or are we going to get ourselves into a 10-game winning streak? I don't know. But if you want to know, you're going to have to fire us back up on Sunday, 1 week from today, because we're going to have it all for you, folks. We're going to have it all.
And by knowing when we release these episodes, all you have to do is hit that notification bell. If you are on YouTube, obviously just hit the follow button on us on Spotify and Apple. That'll let you know when these episodes do release. This is on Sunday, 1/12/2025. It is currently 7:23 p.m. And from here, Carlo, I think we can end it. But before we do, we want to stop and say thank you once again for joining us on this brand new episode of Hockeytown Rundown. Wherever you find us, whether if that's on Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, you can also find us on YouTube. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, everywhere. And by doing all the subscriptions, the following, ad-free stuff, right, Carlo? You mentioned that earlier, but just in case for the people who don't remember, we're all about free here, buddy.
Hey, man, ad-free. It's free to subscribe. It's free to like. It's free to turn on that bell. It's ad-free. I think I said that already.
It's free
already. The point is, I just like saying the word free. But yeah, that it helps us a lot. It helps us a lot because it gives us the, I don't know, kind of gives us that inner spark to keep this thing going. It's been a great 2025, with many of you guys catching on to our show and jumping into the mix. It's been great. So please keep up the likes, keep up the comments. We're not always right. And we love engaging with people who like to correct us and keep us honest. And we love that stuff. We're human beings. So keep it going. We again, the engagement's huge. And, the what's in it for you guys is, continued shows coming out, some good banter, some good conversation, some good topics. And that's really it. Don't forget to check out our merch. Our merch is killer right now. It is trendy. It is funny. It is hot. Get it while you can. It's a great way to support the show. It definitely keeps us coming back. And hopefully it has us keeping you coming back for more. So stay on the lookout for some trendy merch as the season goes on. We're one Mickey Redmond one-liner away from seeing some new merch on the site at any given time. So keep that in mind, folks.
Look at this.
Yep. Boom. There it is.
And with that being said, Carlo, yeah, you can find that store with all of our merch and apparel by finding our Linktree. That is in all of our social media platforms in the bio. By clicking our Linktree, hit the merch and apparel button. I'll even leave that link in the description of this episode on both or all three, Apple, YouTube, Spotify. Boom. Done. Carlo, with that being said, we'll see y'all on the next one. See ya.
See ya.